Hello, this is Bridget Rau with Divine Essentials. Hi there, how are you? All right, we're gonna do a pick-a pile. I'm doing it with live for this one because I think it's gonna go longer than I usually do, and I want to make sure that my phone doesn't like eat up all the storage and then end it and it disappears. So I may have to keep an eye on this because sometimes when I do live, it doesn't always like stay up the whole time, but hopefully it does. And basically, what this is going to be is what you need to know. And there's elements in here beyond love. There's like career, basically whatever you need to know. I use different decks, and I'm just going to see what comes through for you. I had planned to do this like 2 days ago, but I had some issues with the company that I use for decks again, and then I had to go out and I had 2 drinks and they destroyed me. So I tried really hard to like get myself together last night and it just didn't happen. So here we are now, and yeah, you can choose whatever pile you'd like, and I will be doing the next part of the Manifest Your Divine Union series very soon. I might go live tomorrow night after I go live on the Divine Essentials channel. So if you're somebody that's interested in Starseeds, Lightworkers, empath type of information, I'm going to be doing a Q&A tomorrow night on the Divine Essentials channel at 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And then depending on how I feel after that, I may come over here and go live, and then I'm also going to do like a short pre-recorded video for that series as well, just so that I can make sure that I touch on everything I want to touch on, but then talk to you guys. Alrighty, so choose your pile. We have malachite, celestite, this is obsidian, and this is emerald. No, that's tourmaline. I'm like, what is wrong with me? It's a protective stone, so whatever you want to call it. All the protective stones are black. And we're going to start at 222. Yay. All right, malachite. Let's see what you need to know right now. And my intention for this is like what you need to know right now. And it's all areas of your life. It's not just about love. It's just whatever you need to know as we go into 2020. But it is timeless. So if you find this years down the road, there's probably messages in here that you need to know. I have the Earth Mother, but this is actually the Empress. I have the Nine of Pentacles. I have the Innocence of Wands, which is the Page of Wands, and then I have the Sun. And then with surrender cards, you've got surrender to trust, surrender resentments, surrender to divine time. And then we have let love grow, merge with the flow. For my deck, we have your trust, your perfect custom fit. So it's funny you get trust twice. I've been trying to get this deck to be on sale right now, and the company, like, I've submitted it, and it's taking a lot longer than normal. So as soon as that's on there, and I see it for myself, I will let you all know. Synchronicity, reminded of you constantly. Dreams, I'm so proud of you. Depression, I'm so tired of dancing alone. And then we have ask for help from others. Meditation brings answers. Get more information. Opportunity. And then from my career, life purpose, you've got infinite abundance, study, books, counseling, and you're on the right path. So overall energy that's coming through here is pretty good. And like I said, this is not just for one area of your life. So I feel like overall, you're doing what you need to be doing at this time. Like you probably have days that are not as good as other days, but you're keeping your shit together, basically. Maybe in the past you could have had some issues. I feel like it's going to be dependent upon where you're actually at, particularly those that are dealing with like a twin flame love situation. Those of you with that type of stuff going on, I think it's dependent upon how that part of your journey is. For those of you that are just like in relationships or dealing with career or whatever, it does feel like you're on the right path. You know, it even said that you're like on the right path. I forget where it was, but it feels like you're doing good. Oh yeah, it was here. All right, so we'll start here. So you're on the right path. Keep doing what you're doing because it's working. So that coming through with these energies here, the Nine of Pentacles is somebody that is very, independent, confident, sexy, powerful. They're the one that eventually attracts towards them a Ten of Pentacle type of experience. And I feel like that's where a lot of you are at, especially with this opportunity here. I feel like you guys are attracting in an opportunity that's going to take you from, being good where you're at, which that could be being good like as single, that could be being good like kind of in your like progression of your career, or just being good in like emotional, physical health. But I definitely feel like there's opportunities coming your way that are going to take you from that towards the 10, which ultimately makes a pre-empress type of person the empress. And I don't think it matters your sex. You could be man or woman. Hold on, Monoman. And still end up becoming like the best version of yourself. It feels like you already are in alignment with that. Like you're becoming the best version of yourself. For some of you, you probably like are really there, but maybe sometimes don't see yourself that way as much. Especially with this infinite abundance, this reminds me of the Empress as well. It says you're fully supported as you devote yourself to your divine life purpose. Some of you, your divine life purpose may be to do this type of work. Maybe you're called to be like a healer or a reader. Doesn't matter. Like it doesn't have to be this type of work to be a divine purpose. Your divine purpose is what you're sent here to do. But I do feel that for some of you, that could be like your calling is as a healer or a light worker, an empath, somebody that uses your spiritual gifts to help others. Now, others of you, this could just again be in any career. But I think that it took like depending on where you're at, it's like you're still learning, and that's often how it is anyways. No matter what we want to do in life, we still have to continue to learn about it. We have to study about it. Just our day-to-day experiences help us get to that place. But with the counseling, it says you heal with kind words, wise advice, and an empathic ear. So for some of you, again, it could be tied into spiritual stuff, or it could be tied into like an actual counseling gig. And you can counsel people in a myriad of ways. Like you could be a teacher for children and this comes through. You could be somebody that does this just basically like with your friends and your family. You don't have to have a job in order to be in alignment with your life purpose. Like this is like a mother type of energy coming through here a lot as well. Again, it doesn't matter your sex. I feel for some of you, like you could be a single mom or single dad, and you're learning as you go how to be this counselor, for your children or for the people in your life. For some of you, you may not have children of your own, but maybe you counsel and support people in that loving, nurturing way regardless. But it definitely feels like you're continuing to grow. And whenever I see this, it makes me think that you've probably learned a lot already. Like you've probably experienced a lot of things throughout your life. You've probably could have struggled with depression, anxiety, stuff that hasn't maybe necessarily always been easy, but inevitably going through those things brings you into a place of being empathic and understanding and being able to help other people overcome the type of adversity you may have once faced. I feel like you don't let those things keep you down for too long. You know what I mean? This is like this is somebody that's on the right path, somebody that knows that they deserve more and isn't going to let whatever happens to them keep them back. They just keep learning from each experience and they keep growing. So if you've been in a point recently where you're not trusting, or if sometimes that type of, because I feel like for some of you, you could kind of deal with like almost like a bipolar type of energy where some days are a lot better than others. Again, I feel like you don't stay there, but when you do get to those places, just remember that wherever you're going through, whatever you're experiencing is teaching you and aligning you to be able to help other people. Sometimes when we look at it in that type of perspective, it can help us and even propel us forward on the path and realizing that, okay, like I don't have to live in this energy. I'm going to continue to move forward and I'm going to continue to attract all the abundance that is coming my way. I'm going to keep looking at all of these experiences, whether they perceive to be good or bad, as opportunities for growth. And when you look at life like that, you continue to attract and you continue to grow. So for the majority of you, I feel like your life experiences are part of your purpose here. It was like you may have signed up for some stuff that just didn't feel so good, but you got it, and inevitably going to propel you forward. So I think what's going to happen is the more that you grow and the more that you learn, the more abundance, the more beautiful type of experiences you will have. So again, if you're not feeling this way right now, know that your future is going to be very bright and that you will. I feel like other people see you this way, especially with the I'm so proud of you. Like, I feel like your friends, your family, for some of you, there's somebody in spirit that looks at you like this. Like, you could have a mom or a dad in spirit or grandparent, grandmother. Somebody's very proud of you. And it's because you continue to get through these things, you know? I'm definitely picking up for some of you, you're tired of being alone when it comes to romance. But for others of you, you're okay with it now. I feel like in the past, that's where you were at. And for those of you who are feeling this way right now, you're going to get to the point where you're like, I'm okay, you know? And I think when that happens for some of you, it may be somebody else on the outside that could be tired of being alone. You know, somebody that may see the growth that you've gone through and may want to, you know, have an opportunity to come with you or like be drawn back into your life, or somebody that's just drawn towards you in a shift in some way. Maybe you're friends at this point. Maybe you're maybe you've yet to meet this person, but I do feel like the more that you embody this energy of being okay, the more you're going to attract to you. All right. And it's like I'm picking up different messages with these. Some of you, you've already embodied this. Somebody is looking at you and they don't want to be away from you anymore. Some of you, the more that you're here, the more you're going to attract an opportunity to not be alone anymore. And then some of you, it's just that somebody's been, you know, watching you overcome this and they're very proud of you. I feel like that's for majority of you. Somebody has seen your growth. And for some of you, it's somebody that's in spirit, okay? And remember, take what resonates, leave the rest. Obviously, you have a lot of people and only 4 piles. Now, with the reminded of you constantly synchronicity, I think this is more so for some of you. It's for those of you that have somebody on the outside that's like missing you. They're constantly being reminded of you, and I feel like synchronicity is probably reminding them as well. I think that this person looks at you as their perfect custom fit. And for some of you, you have no idea who this person is yet. I feel like somebody has their eye on you and they're being like, you know, acknowledging this. And I feel like they could be intimidated, especially for those of you that are in this energy of feeling confident on your own and not really like being like, oh, I need it to happen now, or I'm so sick of being alone, or in that vibration of depression. And for those of you that do get into those lows, I feel like whoever's looking at you in this way, whether you know them or not, they don't see the lows. You know what I mean? They don't look at you in that way. They see and feel like you're good on your own, regardless if you are or not. And I think for some of you, you need to know that, because I think for some of you, when you get here, you like get down on yourself about the fact that what are other people going to think? What are other people going to say? What would so-and-so, you know, think if they saw me this way? Or like you try to put on a strong face for everybody around you, but everybody around you is proud of you. Everybody around you looks at you as like you have it together. You're good. So try to remember that and not let that stuff go too deep into your soul. With the page or the Innocence of Wands and the Sun, again, I feel there's a growth that's happening in your life. And for some of you, you've already like got there. It's like you're right on the edge of ultimate fulfillment. You know, having the perfect partner, having the perfect, you know, outlook on your life, having the perfect career, you know, just or whatever. Like for some of you, you're definitely going to be like a stay-at-home mom, but that's your purpose. But you're like right there. You're right on the edge of it for some of you. And for some of you, I feel like you've basically got there. And it's like you need to remember that about yourself and not let, you know, the little dots in the back of your head make you feel like you're not there, because I feel like for some of you, you are. Some of you are like very close to it. And then there's some of you who, you know, you're beginning like the steps there, but just remember along the way that whatever you experience that brings you down, or whatever you go through that doesn't feel great, it is propelling you towards this bright future. So try not to get sucked down and just keep knowing that this is where you're headed. The Sun is the ultimate fulfillment. And it's funny because the Sun is divine masculine energy and the Empress is divine feminine. So for those of you who are dealing with love situations, I think ultimately when you're finally free, like, and realizing that you don't need somebody else to make you feel fulfilled or that you've learned all the lessons that you've had to learn here, when you're no longer playing like the violin, because sometimes we do that for ourselves when we're sad, or we're alone, or we're hurt, we're depressed. When you get out of that energy altogether, you're going to go into the light of union. It's like these two will come together. And for some of you, it's somebody that you don't know. And some of you, it may be somebody new. You may have thought that you were going to be in a union with a particular person, but you may find that a different opportunity comes forward from somebody that is watching you, and knows that you'd be like a perfect fit for them, but they're also intimidated by you for some reason. And then others, it's like you're starting off with the innocent part of this. You just got to get the motivation to know you're on the right path, learn these lessons, take the lessons that you are going through, make sure that you use every opportunity that you have to turn it into something good, and you're headed again to that ultimate infinite abundance, which is very much 10 of Pentacle type of vibration. So again, some of you are there, some of you are very much headed there. Now with these ones, again, it feels like for some of you, this has been one of the big issues going through things. I feel like for some of you, it's almost like that these opportunities are there, but you're like, where the hell is this? Like when is it going to come? When is it going to come? When is it going to come? And that's something you got to just trust and allow it to happen, because it feels like a lack of trust is what could bring up about people's depression. Okay, like you may get a little sad and down on yourself when you stop trusting in the fact that you are a beautiful person, that you have infinite abundance available to you. We all do. And that you are looked at in this way, like people see you in such a good light, but you may not always trust that. And I feel like basically it says trust yourself in your decisions. Don't be swayed by other people's strong opinions about what to do. Take action and be confident that you have chosen the right path. So again, you got the right path. You need to remember that. Sometimes we will allow our depression or our sadness or our anxiety or the fact that we're not exactly where we want to be just yet to make us, go into all those fears and all those beliefs, and then we start, letting other people's opinions, come in. Like I get a lot of crap from people about not having kids. I'm not having kids. I'm 35 years old. Like, I ain't starting now. If I were to meet somebody and get into a relationship with them and they want kids, well, we'd have to talk about it because I'm 35. It's whatever. But other people outside of me have a tendency to say stuff about it. And typically I'm good. I mean, since I was a kid, I was saying, I'm not going to have kids, but sometimes we allow other people's opinions to make us be like, well, what if, or, oh my God. Don't do that to yourself. Don't let other people's ideas of what your reality should look like or feel like or be like to keep you down, okay? If you're happy with where you're at, just know that, because I do feel like you may have a tendency to attract people who actually resent you. There's a lot of people who are drawn to you that see you in this infinite abundance, that know you're on the right path. They see these opportunities coming for you. And other times what happens is when people see that in somebody, they do not get proud. They get, pride. They get resentment. They're like, it's jealousy, it's anger. And a lot of times your haters are the ones that try to be like you the most, because they see this within you and they want to, mimic. So just remember that too, as you go through all of your life and all of your experiences, whatever you're going through right now, that a lot of people may say things to you or try to throw you off out of a place of resentment. Maybe they don't have what you have, or they don't have what they think you have. You may not even have what they think you have, but they don't want you to have it because they don't. So I feel like that's something that you need to keep an awareness about, and stick with the people who actually are proud of you and who do support you and who continue to bring opportunities, that they don't try to sabotage your happiness. They don't try to just take what's good for them and then bounce again. I feel like you may have people in your life that have done that with you. And again, it was all lessons, so just be aware and trust yourself. I feel like you have a very strong intuition, but you need to just go with the flow. Don't allow your, perception of time to make you feel down. Sometimes divine timing may differ from your ego's timing. If a goal isn't manifesting fast enough according to your ego, be patient and trust the universal flow. When things aren't manifesting and you feel like you're doing everything you're supposed to be doing and what isn't is happening, it's usually to protect you. There's a reason why something doesn't manifest. Sometimes we need to trust that and let our ego go, okay, you know what? Like, especially those of you who are dealing with love situations, like if you're waiting for your union and it's not happening, you got to trust that there's a reason for it. Maybe they're not supposed to be the perfect custom fit, or the right opportunity for the healthiest type of union between the two of you just isn't available yet. There could still be resentments. There could be things that they've got to go through, and it's not something that you want to rush into. And again, for some of you, I feel like that whole thing about like children may be something that's impacting you guys with the divine timing. If you're somebody that wants to have children, like for me, I'm 35. Like for me, that's like, yeah. But you don't, like, my Nana had her youngest at 35. Like, there's people out there who are in their 40s, their 50s. There's children out there that need to be adopted. Don't let things like that freak you out, because you definitely have the energy of the mother, you know? And I feel like for some of you, that is part of your purpose here. But if you're not a mother yet, and you feel like you're running out of time and all of that, you're just going to block yourself from it. And if you are destined to be the mother, a child will present to you. You may end up being a counselor for children, or you may find somebody that is your perfect custom fit because they already have a baby and the mother abandoned the child and you step into as the role of the mother. Like, you can never, you know, say never, basically. Like, I shouldn't say never to being a mother, because who knows? I've mothered a lot of people in my life, but I feel like that may be something you guys are stressed out with time on. For some of you, just try not to do that, because I think the right opportunity, the right path is there for you, and you just need to go through this time that you're in right now that will get you there. But some of you are already in that. You're already the mother. Just know that whatever's happening, divine timing is at work in your life, and you just got to trust it. And for some of you, the resentment could be on your side. If you've been through experiences with people who weren't proud of you, if you've been through experiences where, you know, somebody left you dancing alone, if you are constantly reminded of somebody when it's like you just want to keep moving on with things, you don't want to like keep having stuff come up, release resentment and take control. Because sometimes we resent things, but it's our fault. Like tonight, I got a notification that my credit thing went down, and I was like, what? Because I've paid off a lot of stuff, and I barely ever use my credit. But I had given somebody permission to use one of my cards. I was like, here, take this if you need it. And when I looked tonight, it was $50 away from the actual limit on the card. And I was like, wow. And I started having a little bit of resentment come up because of that. But then I thought, I'm like, okay, well, I'm the one that said to use it, so I can't really be resentful of that. So in some cases, we need to like look at things from a different perspective, not get resentful about our situations. And then when we have resentment come up, we got to let it go, because it does no good to hold on to it. So holding on to resentment only poisons you. Try to forgive others for their shortcomings and keep moving forward towards positive situations in your life, because you're on the right path. But if you have a bump in the road and you go into that place of resentment and you shift your focus downwards, you're going to close yourself off from those opportunities. It's going to be harder for you to trust things. And it's just not a good look, you know? So try to let go of that and look at it from a different perspective too. Like, I tried to shift my perspective when all that stuff happened. I went and I paid it off, and paid off some other cards that had like very low things on it. And I was like, you know what, how grateful am I, how lucky am I to have that opportunity to even help somebody out, and to have available to me what I needed to pay those off immediately, when there's people out there who have nothing. And last year I had nothing. So you want to like shift your focus to look at something else. Be grateful, because it's all part of this. It's all part of what you're learning that's taking you to a place that will, bring you more opportunities. So if you have issues with money, you have issues with friends, with family, with lovers of the past, or somebody that you may want to be your perfect custom fit, holding on to resentment isn't going to help at all. So try to release those things and just look at different ways of looking at it. And then with over here, you have get more information. Meditation brings answers, and then ask for help from others. So I do feel like for some of you, especially with the energy of the Empress and this infinite abundance and like having to learn lessons and stuff with the resentment, for some of you, there could be a tendency where it's like you don't ask for help, You know what I mean? You may try to do everything yourself and try to be in control of everything. And that in itself can cause resentment, because then you're the one that's like cooking and cleaning, and you're the one at work that's doing all the work. You're doing this, you're doing that, but you're not ever asking for help from others. Use opportunity to get help from others. And I think in this pile, with the I'm so proud of you, sometimes it may be good for you to talk to other people in a counseling setting, just to communicate and to express what's going on inside of yourself, especially if you've been the counselor for everybody. Sometimes it's nice to be able to, voice the resentments, voice the depression, voice the stuff that's going on. Of course, make sure you do it in a safe place so that you're not getting hurt, or that somebody isn't gonna, turn around and do something nasty to you. Because I do feel like there's people in your life right now, for some of you, that will like want to help, and listen to everything you get to say, but then kind of try to use it against you, or basically like thrive off of it. Like they don't want you to be happy. You know what I mean? So be careful who you're venting to, but make sure that you do get it out, and make sure that you don't let those types of people that you've experienced in life up until this point keep you from, asking for help from other people. Because I definitely feel that's something that may have happened for a lot of you, where it's like you do stand on your alone now, because every time you've asked for help from other people, or you've done stuff with other people, they may have hurt you. All right. So I think that's something that a lot of you guys need to know as you go forward, is that these will bring up, there will be more opportunities for you to work with people who are actually going to love you, who are actually going to care, that aren't going to, use your things against you. And when you do ask for that help, you will have more opportunities to like get done what you want to get done on your path. With the get more information and meditation brings answers, I definitely feel like there's still stuff you need to learn, especially with these energies. So whatever it is that you're like contemplating right now, whether it's love, whether it's career, whether it's family, whatever it is, there is a need for you to actually physically learn something. Like start reading books, or even listening to audiobooks. Like if you're somebody that comes to readings a lot for information or wisdom or knowledge, be careful with that, because you're not always going to find the reader that has the information for you. And I'm not always going to have the right answer for everybody that comes to a certain pile or whatever. This is something that sometimes we need to go within and learn, but we also need to like actively pursue outside and take all things into consideration. And remember that when you do read a book, or you do study something that, you're researching, a majority of what you find will only be from one person's perspective. So learning and looking at things from multiple perspectives will help you to gain a new awareness. So that's a lot of times I don't take what I find in a book to be like 100%, because no matter what book it is that you find, it's been written by somebody, and that person's beliefs are impacting it. They're all over it. If you just willingly give yourself over to somebody else's beliefs, then you're not really getting into the place of the best alignment with information. So make sure you're meditating, make sure you're finding multiple streams of information, and take what feels right. A lot of times people are like, how do I know what's true then? You'll know by just knowing. We're all the creator of our reality, and what also makes sense, And a lot of stuff that has been taught like throughout life and mainstream experiences has been manipulated for different reasons. Like the news has been manipulated. Like wherever you live, things that you see in your area that have been written by people, like about your history, about the news, about stuff, it's always going to try to highlight the place that you are at and make other people out to be the bad person or a bad experience. So always keep that in mind. Try to look at things without resentment. Try to look at things with an open mind. Be like the counselor. The counselor doesn't, just take what you have to say and then it's like, oh yeah, you're right, that person's horrible. That person takes into account both sides of the story and then sees it from a different perspective and helps whoever they're working with to see things from that other side as well. So that could be something for you guys too, is that you may need to communicate with people as well as meditate on what's going on in your life right now, so that you can see, like, if you've been dealing with this difficult love situation, if you've been dealing with stuff at work or somebody in your family, you want to look through their eyes, look through your eyes, and have somebody else give you an honest, perspective. You don't want somebody that's going to be trying to manipulate you or, sabotage you. And you don't want somebody that's only going to blow smoke up your ass, because that doesn't help you to grow. But I do feel like looking at multiple things is going to help you to actually grow as you're moving through the next, year or so. But there's definitely a need to go within for some of it, and then there's a need to get help externally for some of it. And this could all be in regards to your career, like what you want to do with your life. This could just be in regards to how to deal with a certain relationship, whether it's friend or family. But you definitely need multiple streams, but ultimately go within to figure out what it all means to you and what feels right to you. You'll trust what feels good to you. And again, with the trust here, you have to do that. You have to surrender and to trust yourself. Don't trust what's in the book. Don't trust what so-and-so said. Trust what feels good to you and what you're, wanting for your future. All right. And then these last two here, we have merge with the flow and let love grow. So I do feel like for a lot of you do have love coming in, or you already are in a loving situation. But the more that you go with the flow of things, the more this is going to grow in your life. And this is just in all areas, because you definitely, I'm seeing like the energy of these cards is a little dark. It's like some of you could definitely have days of depression or have had days in the past that were like that. But I think this kind of stems from not having enough patience, or wanting things to happen too quickly, or from just not seeing things from all different perspectives. So the more that you're going with the flow, the more you're opening yourself up to things, the more this love is going to grow in your life. Some of you, it could also be that you're holding on to resentment from childhood with family members. You're holding on to resentment from the people that have tried to sabotage your growth. You're holding on to the resentment from the fact that you thought you had a perfect custom fit with a person that ended up to be a lesson. But any of these things, the more that you let those go, the more that you're just trusting and going with the divine timing, the more this is going to come towards you, and you're going to flow easily and effortlessly on this path, which it feels for a majority of you are figuring this out. I don't think that a lot of you are like way, way down. I think there's just days where you allow a little bit of stuff to creep in. But for the most part, love is growing, you're flowing, and you're going towards everything that you want. I do, however, think some of you could be focused on like somebody or something that you need to shift your perspective from. And that may be where some of this comes in, where you need to like really meditate on stuff and drop the ego and make sure you're feeling. Sometimes we just don't want to be wrong. I've seen that happen like with like twin flame stuff, where people are like, oh, that's my twin flame. And then later on they come to realize that that may not be my twin flame, and, it could be the ego that makes somebody cling to it and hold on to it, instead of just going within, meditating, and then looking outside for an opportunity to have something that's good and real and available that will help you to have everything you're wanting. Especially those of you where it's like you're wanting a baby, but you're like feel like you're running out of time with that. Well, if that's the case, get really honest with yourself. Like, are you waiting for the wrong person? Because if that's the case, then it may be time to let go of them to get onto that path that's going to bring the opportunity for the perfect custom fit for somebody that's going to bring to you what it is that you're like focusing on. All right. Now that's for those of you who are definitely like on that thing where it's like, I really want a baby and this isn't happening fast enough. And like, they're maybe married to somebody else, or they're, not giving you any of their time and attention. And you've probably already had like that little inkling inside of the back of your mind. Like, is this really the one? If you've had those doubts on a regular, consistent basis, it's important to go within and find out, because you could be blocking yourself from that opportunity. But for majority within this pile, I don't think that's what's going on. I think it's more so just like blocking by not allowing whatever needs to happen, and not trusting that you're on the way to where you're wanting to be. Because I do feel like you are going to end up exactly where you want to be. It's just that you need to more so trust that. All right, because you're on the right path. It looks like a lot of you are going to be in this energy of that Empress, that Ten of Pentacles. There is some stuff that you still need to learn. I feel for some of you before you get here, and some of you even after. I mean, even after you get here, you'll continue to grow and learn. But I feel like some of you, there's still some things that you need to figure out before you get here. But again, it's not something that like you're just gonna like grab and have all in one day. So you just want to trust the process as you learn and grow. Make sure you're not holding on to anybody or anything that's blocking you from your opportunities. Trust and release, surrender into all of this energy of just trusting and flowing and not holding on to anger, and know that there is somebody that's very proud of you. Somebody, for some of you, is definitely reminded you of a lot and sees you as that perfect custom fit, and they don't want to be separate from you. So for some of you guys with this pile, this could all be vice versa. This could be somebody that you're dealing with that needs to kind of overcome this in order for you to guys to get to this place where it's like everything's aligned. You have your 10 of Pentacles, you have your ultimate emotional fulfillment with each other. You know, give birth. Because even with this energy, it's like, I feel like for some of you, it's like when these two come together, you will be giving birth to the child. You will be giving birth to a new experience, like an opportunity for love and like all the things that you've ever wanted. But the more that you just kind of release anything that's like not feeling good, and you try to keep yourself up in that high vibration, the easier it's going to let this type of thing grow into your life. And a lot of you will be going from being on your own into a place of like a perfect union with somebody that is your perfect fit. All right. So hopefully that assisted you. If not, you could choose a different pile, but I'm going to move on to pile number 2. 35, 36. All right. So we're going to move on to pile number 2. Now, again, not everything that comes through will probably be for everybody, so take what resonates. If it doesn't feel like you, then maybe there's a message in a different pile, but be reminded that there's a lot of people out there, so I can't get every single person every single time. All right, so you've got the Fool, the Innocence of Cups, which is the Page of Cups. You've got Death and the Three of Pentacles. You have Surrender, Obsessive Thinking, Surrender to Miracles, Surrender to Joy. Actually, I'm going to put these down here because they're a little bit shorter. You have Make Peace with Your Past and Burn Away the Past. Oh, wow. And those energies are very similar colors. So definitely very similar energy coming through with those. We have, I can't find the right words, Speechless. Thank you for being my light in the darkness. Illuminate. I'm so afraid to tell you, anxiety and fear. I'm so cold without you, warmth. And again, these messages are not just pertaining to love. So these could be, you know, for everybody's going to be different. So we have You're Ready, Remain Positive if you believe there's something better. So I'm just going to kind of stick these over here for now. Maybe I can scoot that down a little bit. I have a lot of cards for this message. Spiritual teacher, crystals, writing, healer, artist. All right, so this is my like life purpose career deck, but I do find that they can help bring in messages in other ways as well. All right, so I'm definitely like, what's sticking out to me the most, just to start off right now with like what you need to know, especially as you go over the next year. We are going from 2019 to 2020, but this is a timeless message. So whenever you find yourself drawn here is likely when you need the message that you're going to receive. Burn away the past and make peace with your past. The energy that's here, like I feel like a lot of the sacral and solar plexus energy, which is connected to, you know, the colors orange and yellow. It feels like there's something within the past that has been blocking you guys from either stepping truly into your power or maybe even manifesting like a healthy relationship fully, either with yourself or with somebody else, okay? And I am seeing like obsessive thinking, anxiety, fear. So this could all be vice versa as well. Be mindful of that. Like if you're somebody that's like wanting something to know about another person in your life, that could be what I'm speaking about. But for the most part, there's something to do with a lot of people's past in this pile that needs to be like released in order for that power to really step into the confidence, for people to feel like, okay, I'm ready, like I'm good, you know, I'm good, I'm going into what I need to do. And it does feel like it's going to impact relationships on different levels, not just the relationship romantically, but a relationship with yourself, a relationship with your friends, with your family, with all things connected into that. And it's also going to make you feel more confident and more like just able to feel like empowered when you really truly release whatever has been holding you back up into this point. So for a lot of you, this could be somebody like you could have had like a really difficult childhood, or you could have had a difficult love situation that maybe manifested more than once, you know. And I feel like this is something that you need to acknowledge as you go forward. So this type of energy, what I'm seeing in my head is like writing down on a piece of paper everything that doesn't feel good. All right. And if it's to do with one particular person, you're going to know that this is to do with that. Like whatever you're obsessively thinking about is basically what I'm connecting with, okay? So if you're obsessing about a person or situation, turn the dilemma over to spirit. Doing so will help bring clarity or even solve the problem. I feel like writing down everything on a piece of paper that has to do with that energy of your past that you could be kind of like constantly thinking about, constantly, trying to figure out, when you write it all down, I think it will also help people to find the right words that they need to start speaking into their world, but also release the anxiety and fear, because you could be really like struggling to acknowledge this stuff just in general, like with yourself. I feel like for some of you, this is something that it's like you gotta let go of, but some of you are also obsessively holding on to something that you need to let go of. And that doesn't mean that you necessarily have to let go of a person, but there's some sort of fear or belief or thing connected to for some of you, it's a person, some of you, it's just a situation. But because of the like sacral energy, I do feel for a majority, it's impacting that relationship to yourself at least. And once you write it all down, you want to burn it, because fire is like transformational. It helps us to actually do something, bring our awareness to it, get it the right words to bring towards it. And we're not going to have a bunch of anxiety and fear when we're letting it go, when we're doing it that way, because we're not having to communicate it to somebody else. At least we're doing something with it. And it just starts that energetic process of it. But also while you're doing it, when you write down all this stuff, say for example, it's like, I just want to release obsessive thinking about so and so. I want to release obsessive thinking about where I've been. I want to release obsessive thinking about the fact that I'm unhappy. Like whatever it is that this has been like on the back of your mind, just lurking and keeping you in this state where I don't feel like you're very joyful all the time. Write it down, burn it, and then ask spirit to assist you in really truly transforming it. And then try to shift your thoughts about whatever it is that you've been obsessively thinking about, instead of thinking of things in a negative way or holding on to what already happened. Because again, this, some of this came through in pile one, I think, but it's like when we go through something really traumatic, or we go through something that wasn't great, we hold on to it sometimes, and it's almost like we just self-sabotage, because we can't let go of what was. And when we don't let go of what was, we can't align with what is, what is to come, what is going to make us happy, what is going to be a miracle in our life. Because we're too caught up and we're too stuck and stagnant within energy that doesn't feel good, and we feel like a victim. So when we're rippling out victim consciousness, we continue to attract experiences that make us feel like a victim. We keep attracting the people, the jobs, the things that happen in our world that keep us in this state of being a victim of our situations. So you really want to make peace with that, whatever it has been that's not felt great. Make peace with whomever it's been, whether you talk to them or not. For some of you, even writing a letter to a person that you could have this type of thing with, that maybe you can't find the right words to say to them. There's a lot of fear and anxiety about speaking it to them, but you need to at least write it down and then just burn it. It takes off all that pressure, all that anxiety, all that fear, because nobody else is going to read it except for you. And then you may find that those words do come through you, and that fear and that anxiety that you had to speak to them is no longer there. For some of you, you may actually be able to send the letter, or, communicate this to, maybe it's a family member. For some of you, I'm picking up a mom, like if you had a narcissistic mother or a narcissistic father, or just somebody in your life that, really, really hurt and has made you hold on to something that's impacting you in a negative way now. All right, but that's first thing you need to acknowledge. And then again, shift the thoughts around whatever it was. Look at it as, all right, that was my opportunity to learn, and to not allow myself to continue to be that vibration. Not allow myself to be that type of person that would do that, or not allow myself to be the type of person that will allow someone to do that to me. Look at it and shift it and be like, thank you. You know what? You're the light in the darkness. You've helped me illuminate the thing that I needed most. And again, this could be something to do with your life, like your career, your work, whatever it's been. Look at it and shift the perspective around it, instead of letting it, make you feel like all down and gloomy and about it. let it be the thing that makes you feel good, realizing like, wow, that taught me a lot. And now I know I'm free of it. And now I know I'm going somewhere better. I'm moving into alignment with my future. I'm moving into alignment with the future with relationships that are going to serve me. Just start thinking and speaking and feeling differently, because that's what starts attracting things to be differently. And if it's been something that's been difficult with somebody that you really love and you want to be with, but you're afraid to tell them that, maybe you feel cold without them, and again, this could all be vice versa. This could be how somebody feels about you. I feel like this just needs to stop. Once this stops, because this causes resistance. When you really love somebody and you like want them, and you're not able to tell them because of how much you're like about it, it's like you're just causing resistance and pushing them away. And sometimes you're creating a thing that doesn't even exist. I've seen that happen a lot, where people like reach out to me and they tell me all this stuff, and then it's all built up within the head. Like they never actually said anything to the person. They've never had the person say anything to them. It's just that they've created this big monster from obsessive thinking within their mind that blocks them from moving forward or back or any way, whatever. So a lot of times I tell those people, like, well, what's the worst thing that could happen if you actually told the person what you're thinking, or what you're feeling, or what you've been through, or why this dynamic is the way it is? Because at the point you're at now, nothing's changing except for, nothing's changing really. You're just staying where you're at, and all you're doing is continue to be in the same situation where you're like, oh, you know what? This is never going to change. This is going to get better. This person probably doesn't like me. What if I'm crazy? Blah, 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 blah. You tell yourself all these things that keep you from what it is you're trying to have. All the while, it's just because of fear, from the fact that you're not sure if they would reciprocate your feelings, or you're not sure, about something about yourself. Sorry, my camera is falling. I need to fix this because I think it's going to just like crack and fall. Yeah. So basically you want to shift the thoughts, you don't want to stay there, and you want to take action. If it's been something that you've never ever spoke about, or you've never had a negative experience with somebody, staying in that place of fear about it is useless, because what's the worst that happens? You finally tell them, and then your worst case comes true, and they say, oh, well, I don't feel the same way, or whatever it is. Maybe it's a situation with a friend or a family member. At some point, you got to release yourself from it. Or if you don't have if you can't come up with the right words, you can't tell them it, then you at least let it go. Like if you know at your core that it's not good for you, or it's not ever going to work because of all the dynamics that are part of it, sitting around and doing this is going to block you from the opportunities in your future, because you're not making space for any of those opportunities in your future. So when we have something from our past, like we were in a bad relationship, or we were in a relationship and they broke up, and you don't let go of that person, or you don't let go of that situation entirely, you really block yourself from the new opportunities of love coming in. Same thing with experiences with career, same thing with experiences with money. You could be, really obsessively you could even actually be manifesting and having, money, but because at one point you didn't, you can let those fears block you from manifesting even more. Or you can let those fears start to manifest into a way that takes away what you have. So really allow yourself to look at whatever it is that you've been like about, and acknowledge it, release it, and try to shift it. Try to know that miracles do happen. And when you're no longer there, when you're in this place of joy, when you're knowing and trusting, and like you're like just trying to feel good within yourself, you're staying positive, you emit out a different vibration. So perhaps the person or the experience that wasn't working in the past is able to now show up because you're feeling better. So now there is something better there. But you have to believe in yourself. You have to remain positive, and you have to be ready. And I think a lot of you are. So some of you, I feel like you're ready for this, okay? Like you're ready to let this go. Some of you may have already acknowledged this stuff, and you're like, all right, I don't want to do this anymore. So just again, try to stay in this place of knowing that miracles happen. Try to be joyful for yourself, and know that everything that you've been through, everything you're going through is leading you to better days. And when you are in this energy, something better will show up. For some of you, I feel like there's been this darkness, there's been this anxiety and fear, there's been this like, cold type of vibration, like feeling alone and unable to like really find the right words. I'm even struggling to find the right words throughout this. I feel like this was something that, you know, like you had to go through because there was something better all available to you all along. And once you stop, you know, clinging to whatever this is, that something better is going to show up. Okay. So sometimes we like really get like, oh, I need that person, or oh, I need that thing, I need that thing. But it's the one thing that we shouldn't have because it's gonna keep us in this place of dark and fear. And then tell yourself this too, like if whether it's a job or a person, or if it's a family member, if you're constantly feeling anxiety and fear and uncomfortable, you can't be yourself, you can't just, you know, feel confident and good about whatever's going on. Is that really what you want in your life? You know what I mean? Like I've had moments of like aha with things like that where I'm like I've never been able to be comfortable. I've always had this anxiety, this fear, you know, and that's what illuminated the darkness of it. So you should be trying to manifest experiences with people that do make you feel joyful, or experiences in their life that are going to make you feel good and comfortable to be yourself. It's it's funny because my next part of the series that I'm doing is more so is going to be about comfort. So like that should be like the number one thing to you. If you're in a place of discomfort, if you're in a place that's like ugh, about everything, that's a clear indication that you're not, you know, aligned with something that's good for you, and it's time to let a death of that happen. And that doesn't necessarily mean it has to be the person you're thinking about. It's whatever you're thinking about in that way. Some of you, it may be the person, some of you, it may be a job or family member, whatever. But there has to be transformation in order for it to work together with somebody or something in your life and for it to grow into a good place, into that place of a miracle. And so, yeah, with the Innocence of Cups and the Fool, it's like you need to get vulnerable with yourself and take that leap of faith. And fear, anxiety, darkness, all of that stuff keeps us from being vulnerable sometimes. It keeps us with all these big blocks in the way, and it keeps us from being happy and our vibration all low and ugh. And so we don't really attract what we're wanting into our life because we're blocking it with the vibration and the feeling that we're rippling out. So you've got to believe in yourself. You got to believe in what is going to make you happy, and try to feel happy in this moment. Try to be positive in this moment. And when you are ready, something better is going to be showing up for you. So we also have spiritual teacher, crystals, writing. Look at that writing. So I do feel like this is going to help you guys. Like you don't have to write and do the fire thing, but maybe even just journaling or writing poetry or just writing something is going to help you to inspire the healing inside of yourself and probably help to heal others. Okay. Because a lot of times when we go through this type of crap, it is to help us to become something better. So for some of you, like there's like a teacher inside of you, and you have to, like I always say this, like healers, light workers, whatever, spiritual teachers, they go through the ringer. Like they like it's a not an easy path there, because you've got to experience the light and the dark, and you've got to experience a lot of bullshit so that you can actually help teach other people. Because if you have someone come to you that was maybe raped, or somebody that lost a child, or somebody that, you know, lost their parent, or somebody that's struggling with cancer or whatever, and I'm not saying you have to go through all of those things, but usually you've gone through something, and the people that have gone through that similar thing will come to you to be taught, to heal, to learn, because you can then inspire them, because now you found the way to something better. And your words, the things that you will write, the things that you will speak, the things that you will, you know, teach will inspire them, because they see that you are able to get to that version of yourself that's something better, but not staying here anymore. So some of you may have already gone through this and have come to this place, and now like the things that you're going to be writing, the things you're going to be speaking are going to really continue to propel you forward into this energy. And for some of you, if you've really been stuck here, this is where you're headed. So you got to keep that in mind, that this is all part of a lesson, is all part of your greater plan. And I do feel that writing is going to help you to find the right words that need to be said to yourself and to others in your life to get you to that place where there is something better, to be that light in the darkness. So you're no longer afraid to speak your truth. You're no longer afraid to be that vulnerable person, to take that leap of faith in your life towards where you're truly meant to be. And again, letting go of whatever has been holding you back from getting there. So you heal with your classes, sessions, and seminars. For some of you, you may end up traveling and teaching in this way. Did you have, I'm like, did you have travel? Some of you definitely going to travel. Because that just came in for no apparent reason. But I definitely think that you will teach people after you've overcome this, or some of you are already at that point where you're going to be teaching. And the writing, is going to be healing for you regardless. So start a journal, start getting out what's inside of you that you can't get out. For some of you, it's like you can't even keep your thoughts together because of this. Because I'm having a hard time like remembering like what I'm saying to you guys, and I'm having a hard time like forming my words together. So I feel like I'm tapping into this part that you guys get stuck within with the anxiety. Like I'm even getting a little shaky. You got to let it go. All right, just surrender because you are a healer. And some of you may need to go to a healer in order for you to like shift this inside of you so that you can start your journey into healing and becoming the teacher, becoming the healer. You know what I mean? Every time, like, we all begin somewhere. You don't just like come out. I mean, you can, a lot of people come out, you're innately a healer inside of you, but you do have to go through the experiences and then someday step into this fully. But it says you have the spiritual gift of healing and a desire to share it with others. That may be what some of you are feeling of too. It's like you can't find the right words in order to do this. All right. You may have anxiety and fear about, shedding the words that you've got to share to people about where you've been. It may be hard for you to be open and vulnerable and tell others where you've been. Like last night, I was talking to people and we're going over stuff, and I eventually ended up letting them know, like, yeah, well, like 15 years ago, I was a heroin addict. And that's a big shift from where I am today. But sometimes it's hard for me to actually open up and be vulnerable in that way. For whatever reason, when the camera's facing that way and I'm channeling messages to you guys, I'm okay with being vulnerable. But sometimes when you're face to face with people, or you're even just in that place of where you haven't, opened up about it yet, it's hard for us to surrender and say, the truth or be vulnerable, because especially in this world now, there's so many people who will point their fingers at you, or they will just look at you in a way that's different than, oh wow, now that I know that, I'm not going to like trust that person. And that's also the beliefs that come from somebody that may be an addict or had been an addict, because I can still find myself in times where like the beliefs I had then, or the feelings I had then, will show up now. So like if you were an addict in your past, or you went through some sort of trauma in your past, whatever you were going through, maybe it was an abusive relationship, it can show up in the relationships now, and it can come through in anxiety and fear, and it can make you start to be a certain way or just start to think certain things that aren't true. Like you can expect the person that you're dealing with right now to have all these thoughts about you just because someone in your past had those thoughts about you, when it's not really true. So you want to start acknowledging that as well. Like look at where you are now from where you were, and try to be vulnerable, and know that when you are vulnerable and when you do express the words that you have to say and like the truth of who you are, you're going to attract the right people to you to work together with you. So wouldn't you rather just be your true authentic self, no matter what it is, good, bad, and ugly, and then have the people that are going to see that in you and love you no matter what? I think that's something that a lot of you guys need to acknowledge. Stop running from who you are. Let the past be the past, and embrace both. You know what I mean? Like let it be in the past, but also know that that's what brought you to who you are today. And for some of you, that's where you're headed. It's like wherever you're at right now eventually will be your past, and you're no longer going to have to be like, oh, about it. Right? You're going to step into the role of the healer. You're going to step into the role of the teacher. Some of you are definitely going to have like books. Okay, that may be why you end up traveling, to like share your books places, or to like read, or just have like seminars and speaking about whatever it is that you've been through and overcame in your life. But there's definitely big transformation happening within this, letting go of darkness, letting go of like the cold of being alone and not being able to share the voice or the truth of who you are. And then artists and crystals. So engaging in artistic activities is beneficial to your career and every other area of your life. For some of you, this is poetry. This is straight up like just writing poems. For some of you, this again is just writing in itself, because it is an artistic form of expression. And then others of you, you may not resonate with the writing part. It may be that you need to put down on a canvas, like you need to paint like your transformation over time. Or that's the way that you're going to find the right words more. It's like, it's not, I find that healers, spiritual teachers, people who are connected to this stuff, you work with frequency better sometimes than you do with words, or like what most people would expect us to do in this world. So there could be a message inside of you that needs to be expressed through, drawing or painting or creating jewelry or using crystals to create jewelry or just working with crystals and sharing the energy through that. It's like you don't actually need physical words sometimes to express the message that you have inside of you or the healing abilities that you have inside of you. Like when I do healing sessions, sometimes I use crystals. When I paint, I ask like the emissaries to assist me, and like the things that I used to draw or paint back in the day are so like to what I do now. So this may actually help to open up your gifts as well. When you step over and allow spirit to communicate through you, you may have the easier ability to find the right words, easier ability to create the things that you're wanting to create, or even just completely turn on these gifts that you may have not even know that you had. Maybe you were afraid to even try, but you've always been like, you know what would be cool to paint, or you know what would be cool it's to make jewelry, whatever. Just start somewhere and surrender to the joy of it, and to surrender like any thoughts of I'm not good enough, or I don't know what I'm doing, or I can't do that. Get rid of that. And whatever made you feel that way, or whomever has made you feel that way, it's time to let it go. And again, with the miracles, you may be finding that you have some miracle gift inside of you that you didn't know about because you were too busy up in your head or too busy thinking about things that have gone wrong to acknowledge it. Okay. But I definitely feel like a lot of you guys are going to be sharing some major gifts, major healing with the world. You do have a lot to teach others just through what you've experienced. So don't look at what you've experienced as something to hide. Okay. There's no reason to hide anymore. And for those of you that are dealing with a love situation, this could be like how somebody is towards you. They may have all this stuff up inside of them that they went through, and you're going to be the light in the darkness for them. They may be struggling to find the right words, but once they surrender what they need to surrender, they get out of their head and they find the way to find more warmth in themselves, because they can't come to you for the warmth. They've got to inspire it with inside of themselves, and then naturally you'll probably gravitate towards them, or vice versa. Okay, so when you find the warmth inside of yourself, whomever or whatever you've been like longing to come join you will probably be able to add into that. Okay, so that's how this works. Like we can't attract warmth, we can't attract calm, peace when we're like "Rah!" or feeling really separated from it. And whatever it is that's keeping us from it, sometimes we just go to acknowledge it, let it go, and know that there is something better. But for a lot of you, there is somebody in your life that could really have a lot of these types of anxieties and fears, and just needs to like warm themselves up, find the right words to approach you, and let go of whatever they've been through up until this point that is making them stay stuck there. Some of them could still be in situations that are keeping them stuck there. So my advice to you would to not sit around waiting, okay? Just know that if you believe in it and you trust it in divine timing, and that if you remain positive when that person's ready, when you're ready, that something better will be there. And for some of you, you shouldn't, like, there's something that you should be letting go of completely, because there is something better available to you to work together with you that's going to serve you in a way that I don't think whatever it is you've been clinging to will. Okay, so it's time to take the leap of faith. It's time to get vulnerable with yourself, to transform your life, and to find that thing that's going to work together within the physical to build something sacred. All right, so I'm going to move on to pile 3. And again, the camera is being a little weird, so I need to fix this. There's like these little sticky things on the clip here, and for whatever reason, it's like sliding. And because I did the live, it's not letting me just pause. But yeah, let me flip it this way and see if that helps. All right. Oh. It's just harder for me to do it this way because it's more spring-loaded. All right. All right, we're going to move on to pile number 3 at 103. All right. Good thing I went live for this one because it's a long one and I felt like it would be. So this is what you need to know. Love, money, career, whatever's going on. These are just the messages you need to know at this time as we go into 2020. My messages are timeless though. So if you watch this in 2022, there could be something here for you. All right. And again, like these are general, so this may not be your pile. There could be a message in another pile, or this may just not be the reading for you. Just take what resonates, leave the rest. If it doesn't sound like something that makes sense to you, try a different pile out. And if it's still not working, maybe it's just like I said, maybe you don't have something you need to know right now. But there has been a lot of messages coming through in each pile, so it could be that there's just one part of it that you need to know at this point.
So we got the Movement of Cups, which is the Knight of Cups. We got the Six of Swords, which is coming into like a calmer time. So Five of Pentacles, which is about being left out in the cold, and Four of Cups can sometimes be like rejection or missing something, not seeing this thing that's right behind us. So those actually kind of go together well. I feel like for some of you, whatever's going on in your life right now, there is movement away from this time of like being in a place of rejection or feeling left out in the cold. Like things may have not been so easy peasy, but it does feel like there is movement and there is a time of like going more into this place of flow with emotions. So the Movement of Cups and the Six of Swords, traditionally the Six of Swords is like that person in the boat, traveling. Whatever's been going on in the mind, whatever's going on in the physical, whatever's going on in the emotions, I feel is starting to come into a more place of like being calm. And again, these could be vice versa messages for some of you. Like if you're asking what you need to know about a particular person, this could be like where they're at, what they're feeling. So again, try to take what resonates, what fits, and if it doesn't sound like you, feel like if it fits into who you're asking about. And then we have addiction here. So for some of you, it could definitely be that you've been dealing with somebody that's been addicted to something, or you could have your own addictions. Whether you're addicted to substances, food, people, sex, or overworking, take action to begin to heal the addiction and replace it with healthier alternatives. So again, I feel like this is happening either for you or for somebody that you know, or this may be something that needs to happen in order for things to change in your life. Like, oh my goodness, you got detox right here. Jesus. I am definitely picking that up. All right. Like that there's either you have an addiction or somebody else has an addiction. It says cleanse and restore yourself. And then there's whatever you choose will be correct. We also have surrender drama and surrender the desire to control people. So that could even be an addiction, wanting to control people, or drama can be an addiction. People can get all like, yeah. Bleh. Sometimes we just like, the mundane is just too mundane for people. Sometimes we attract people into our lives that bring a lot of drama, or, we want to control a situation, which ends up causing drama and it ends up becoming an addiction. But it's like we need to detox ourselves from that. And whatever you choose will be correct. So I feel like whatever you end up doing, about these things, it is moving you to a better place. Okay. And this again could be vice versa. This could be whomever you're asking about. Whatever they decide is going to help bring them to a better place. So there could be some addictions or some, thoughts, some ways of being that this person's going to be getting rid of that brings them to a better place. So we also have I can hear you, telepathic. Dominating, I need you to tell me what to do, which is funny because we had surrender the control of others. I wish for a fresh start. And then I feel you inside of me. It drives me insane. Magnetism. We also have take action, communicate clearly, success in a year from now. Oh. All right. Sometimes when I see the year from now, it means like a year from now, something's going to happen. But a lot of times when I see it, it feels like a year from now, everything's going to be different. A year from now, you're like, you see these two people are together. They got it, for whatever reason, when I look at it, like initially, it always looks like these are children. So it reminds me of like a happy family, but these are actually like little angels down here protecting the world. But I do feel like a year from now, for some of you, your life's going to be completely different from how it is today. Or whomever you're asking about, their life could be completely different. Okay. And it's funny because with the fresh start here, I feel like that's what's happening. People are having a fresh start that a year from now is going to be like, holy crap, I can't believe where I was last year. I can't believe whatever has changed to this extent. So that feels like that type of energy. For some of you, though, I'm not going to lie, it could be that somebody stays stuck in this shit. And it's going to take them a year to overcome or stop self-sabotaging or stop ignoring what's right in front of their face. Okay. And that could be you or somebody you're asking about. Then with the life purpose, career energies, we have travel, we have speaker, we have music, we have animals, and then practice. And she's playing a flute. So it's kind of interesting. Some of you could be musicians or, you may be interested in music, or you could be interested in a musician or somebody that plays an instrument. Sometimes I look at music, though, too, as just like the energy, like in our life makes us feel better. Like if I'm in a bad mood and I go in the car for a little drive, like sometimes I can feel completely different just by the songs that come on. Even from moment to moment, like song to song, it can really impact your mood. So you could be somebody that's greatly impacted by music, or you could be dealing with somebody that is. But let me kind of just dive in here. And again, take it as it resonates without getting, I'm not going to try to go back and forth throughout the whole thing because it's just going to take too long. But again, the movement of cups is the Knight of Cups. This is some romance energy. But I think this is also more so speaking that there's movement within emotions. And it's going to be bringing people to a place of more peace. And I'm seeing the rainbow there as peace. Some of you, this could be something to do with sexuality. All right. Like you could be gay, or somebody you're dealing with could be gay. And that could be like what they've been suppressing. That could be like the addiction or something too, where it's like they're addicted to the lie or like the falseness that they have around them. Like they could even be denying like their true sexuality just because of something in their life. I don't feel like this is for everybody. This is just for some of you. Again, I'm trying to just get out whatever comes through. So take it as it fits. But I feel like there is movement within that. So if somebody has been suppressing their true desire, whether it's sexuality or just their desire for you or just their desire in life, or if you've been suppressing this, I feel that movement is now happening and it's going to be shifting. And with the whale there, that for me represents wisdom. So I feel like whatever's happened up until this point, no matter how dramatic it's been or how difficult it's been or how low vibrational it's been, has actually helped to like teach people, okay? It's going to give them the awareness, or all of a sudden have the epiphany moment to see what's been right behind their back the whole time, but they weren't able to see. For some of you, there's going to be an awareness about a person. You're going to recognize that there's been like somebody that's been sabotaging your happiness, or you've been sabotaging your happiness by like trying to control an outcome or staying addicted to somebody or something that's just, you know, been stabbing you in the back. Okay. Something within that, like that could be a friend, that could be a family member, that could be a lover. There's something here that people are going to be like, oh, wait. Now I see, now I understand why I've been stuck, why I've been like, you know, been suppressing this, or why I've been feeling this way about my life, which again feels separate from abundance, feels separate from that diamond, separate from the light, separate from our ultimate fulfillment in life. You know what I mean? And again, with this, it's like I feel it's like an illusion in some instances because it's available to you, but for some of you, you're sabotaging it by not acknowledging something that's right there. It's like right. Like, I feel like for some of you, you freaking know what it is. You know what I mean? Like for some of you, you're like, yeah, I know I'm addicted to this, but I'm just going to pretend I'm not. So you keep just like putting it behind your back. Again, be mindful. This could be who you're asking about, but that needs to be acknowledged in order for this feeling to go away. For some of you, it's like you're in love with somebody. You really want to be with them. You feel separated from them. And what it is like your addictions are blocking you from having that with them. And it's not even that they don't want to be with you. It's like they may not even know about what it is that you're addicted to that's keeping you from them. But there's like such an energetic blockage, or your perception of things is like sabotaging the ability for them to come move towards you with their romance, and for you to come out of this energy that you're keeping yourself in by staying stuck in these patterns and, you know, behaviors. Or this is vice versa. Okay, so take it as it fits, but definitely there is going to be like an awareness. For some of you, this could be those of you who have been dealing with somebody that you're in love with that has, you know, a third party situation going on. I feel like if that's the case, the person that you're dealing with, or yourself, like if you're the one that's in a relationship, but you maybe have been suppressing the fact that you really want to be with somebody else, or whomever you're asking about is in a relationship suppressing the fact that they'd really like to be with you, I feel like they're gonna all of a sudden have some sort of awareness and see what they haven't been seeing up until this point and release whatever they've been addicted to. It could be codependency behaviors. It could. Sorry, it went off for a second. I'm doing live because this has been such a long video. I wanted to make sure that my phone didn't like run out of space for it. But yeah, I feel like for some of you, there's definitely going to be movement in some of those situations. There's going to be like the epiphany moment, or the release of the addiction to the person or the situation that has been keeping people stuck and stagnant. And then this energy of being separate from our fulfillment will be gone. Okay. So that's definitely what I'm picking up there for like the romance with that. This could also be in regards to like career. You know, you could be staying somewhere, or like, you know, like this, what I just heard is like, you could be like addicted to something. Like it could even be something stupid, like maybe not even addicted to it, but you could be like, like smoking weed or something. And it's like, all right, I can only have this job because if I try to go get a good job, they're going to drug test and I won't be able to have it. So it's a choice. It's a choice of, all right, do I want the ultimate fulfillment or do I want to stay here and, do whatever? And I'm not saying addiction is a choice. I think, I mean, ultimately we do choose. I was an addict for a long time, and I made the decision one day to stop, and I stopped. But it took work as well. And some people aren't able to do that. Like they can go and get help, but then they go right back to it. And I feel like that does tie in a lot to other things in your life. Like if you are addicted to something and you're constantly surrounded by the people that feed into that addiction, and it's surrounding yourself with all this drama or this like, people who are controlling or manipulative or whatever. Obviously, if you come out of like, detox and you go towards those same people, you're going to fall right back into that pattern, and there won't be that success because you're just going to like, I guess I'll try it again. And you fall right back down the rabbit hole. So it is a choice, to the point of having to make the decisions that are difficult to change your life completely. But once you do the detox, once you get, make that decision and you get rid of this stuff, or whomever you're asking about gets rid of this stuff. And it doesn't have to be like a straight up drug addiction. It could be sex. It could be the people that you're surrounding yourself with. There's something here that needs to be overcome. And once you do it, it's like a year from now, everything's gonna be completely different. I feel like whatever you choose will be correct is like more so, whatever you choose is going to be correct for you. It may not get you to what you want very quickly. Like if you choose to stay in this energy, or whomever you're asking about chooses to stay all caught up in this stuff, they will eventually get out of there, but they're not going to be like looking back and like, yay. But there will be a reason for the choice. There'll be like that they needed to go through it for some reason. And eventually they will get to a point where they break and they realize what has been keeping them from what's going to make them good. For some of you, it's basically just straight up ego crap too, where it's like you or the person you're asking about needs to restore themselves and detox themselves from people that are just like all up about money and fame and, stuff that doesn't matter. It's like, you may have the fancy car, you may have the fancy house, you may have the stuff that everybody is like, yeah, that's so cool. But it's not fulfilling emotionally. It's like, I got the fancy car, I got the fancy house, all my friends think I'm cool. Maybe I, take care of myself in this way that like when you look at me outwardly, I look awesome to everybody, but still separated from the emotional fulfillment because of the suppressing of what it is they truly want. So you could be somebody that's like denying the fact that you're gay, denying the fact that you're in love with somebody, or denying the fact that you want something more for yourself. Or this could be whom you're asking about is denying these things in order to kind of control themselves and stay addicted within the ego and staying like all up in that drama, 3D, low vibrational stuff. They may be like worried what people would think if they were to actually stop caring about that stuff, Like who gives a shit about how much money you got in the bank, or who gives a shit what kind of car you drive? That type of stuff keeps you surrounded by low vibrational people. So I think that's for some of you what's going on here. It just comes down to this person's being controlled by the like desire to look cool, but they could be going through an awakening at this point that's going to help them make the right decisions to detox themselves from that type of stuff and really express who they are truly within themselves and express their sexuality appropriately. Because for some of you, it could be sex addiction too, where they've been, the knight in shining armor there, the what do you call it? I always forget it for some reason. Casanova, you could be a Casanova type of person, or they could be a Casanova type of person. But once they stop doing those behaviors it's a ego boost. It's like, oh, I'm so cool type of thing. Once that stops, they will actually be able to have that fulfillment. In a year from now, they're going to be like, wow, this is completely different from where I was. Everything feels good. So no matter how emotionally charged the situation, remain calm and don't contribute to drama. Staying centered will help resolve the issue more quickly. For some of you, like I really feel a lot of you guys who are ever connecting with this, some of you this is straight up like your stuff, but most of you, I feel like a lot of what's coming through is to do with somebody that you're asking about or connected to. And I feel like you may be spiritually awakened. You may be aware of this type of stuff. You may express yourself sexually properly. Like you aren't afraid to tell the world who you are at your core, and you don't give a shit what people think about it. And you may already be like in a good place. But I feel like this person that, you could be asking about may bring out a part of you that brings this up, that makes you do things that you don't want to do, or makes you like do stuff that you normally wouldn't do. It's not that you don't want to do it, because you definitely want to do it when you do it, but you may have like little behaviors that react to this person, and then you kind of regret it instantly after. Like, why the fuck did I say that? Why did I do that? Now I look like a psychopath. And it feels like this person may bring this out in you. So if you've been dealing with somebody that's really like that, very ego driven, somebody that's like denying that they, have feelings for you, whether they're gay or whether they're whatever, I feel like they bring out the worst in you, and you may need to be the one that makes the decision to cleanse and detox yourself from them. So this could be somebody that you're married to, somebody that you're interested in, whatever. There's somebody in your life that brings about the drama within you that you normally wouldn't express. This is the type of person that just makes you snap and makes you do stuff you normally wouldn't do, or stuff that you would normally be able to compose yourself with. But I think that's something that you need to control. And once you start controlling that, may even shift the whole dynamic of the situation. Okay? And if you're dealing like a twin flame situation where they bring that type of drama out of you, they could be like, you guys could be mirroring each other in some way. So you want to look at where you're not expressing yourself wholeheartedly, where you're, missing something that's right behind your back, and make sure you're not keeping yourself separated from whatever it is you're wanting by, staying stuck in a pattern. Okay. Like some of you could be an addiction to like social media. It doesn't have to be something really, really heavy, but no matter what it is, it's not good. So you need to start healing these addictions and replacing them with healthy alternatives. So again, like with this, like maybe the person that you're interested in is like you see something that they post, right? And then all of a sudden you're in this place of drama and reacting. And it's like you want to control that situation. So maybe you fire back with something, or, it takes you out of this place of feeling good and into this place of feeling like crap. What would be the smartest thing to do there is to no longer engage in it and unfollow the person. You don't have to block people. Like I was considering blocking somebody, and then I was like, just unfollow, because then I don't see their shit and it don't matter. I've also turned off my activity on Facebook so that people can't just like bombard me with their energy. Or expect me to be available. Sometimes I'll go on Facebook and it's just because that little green light is on, everybody thinks it's a free-for-all when you don't really have the time, but then they get upset because, oh my God, your green light was on. Like that type of shit, it could be what's going on here too with you guys. Like it could be like that somebody may be trying to be too controlling over you, or you're trying to control a situation, or you could be a little too controlling over somebody else and what's going on. And the best way to get rid of those types of triggers and those types of experiences that you're dealing with is to stop, engaging in it. Unfollow people that are bringing this about within you in real life and in social media world. Like if it was somebody that you weren't friends with, you wouldn't think twice to unfollow them. Like when people watch a reading they don't like here, they unfollow. It's just the same thing. You got to start making those decisions in your real life. Unfollow the things that bring this part of you out that you don't like. And then with this, for some of you, you could be clinging to somebody or almost addicted to somebody that you want to change, and you can't change them. Being over controlling can sabotage relationships. To more effectively achieve your goals, back off, regroup, and give the situation some breathing room. So for some of you, this is straight up like you may be addicted to like wanting this person to show something better, and then it causes drama between the two of you, and you need to restore yourselves by detoxing from that behavior. Lean back, allow them to be who they're going to be without trying to control things. And I feel like that could actually dramatically shift stuff. Or just the fact that you back up could be the wake-up call that makes them realize that, oh shit, they're not going to keep putting up with this type of behavior or this type of pattern. Whatever it is that's going on for you, everybody is going to be different, but whatever it is, you got to be the one that makes the deciding factor. And it's funny because with this, it says, I need you to tell me what to do. I think that could be an unhealthy dynamic. For some of you, it's like you're dealing with codependent people, or you may have been codependent. Because this is meant to be like a sexual thing. Like, I need you to tell me what to do. And it can be seen in a good way. Like, I can hear you tell me what to do, so that I know, like, it's safe to come towards you, or that you still care about me or whatever. But for whatever reason, I'm picking up right now that like this could be something that's been kind of not so good here. It's almost like you guys could be there could be a controlling dynamic. Somebody could be very controlling over you. This could be your karmic partner that you need to get rid of, or you could be very controlling over somebody else. But I think this is more so telling you, you need to tell yourself what to do right now. You need to make the decision and just trust that it's going to be correct. And when you trust in yourself and you know that it's going to be correct, it's easier for you to make the right decision that's going to be successful. And when you communicate clearly and take action on this stuff, like, all right, I know what I need to do, I'm going to do it, you will be successful, because then you're setting yourself up. Like I think for some of you, there's just been a denial of this. Like there's been a denial of the fact that there's been drama, or there's been a denial about the fact that you have been enjoying the drama. Like you don't want it to just be kind of like kosher and cool. And if it was, things would be a lot easier. But sometimes, we grow up in a situation or a dynamic with our family where it was just all drama, or everybody around us is always all engaged in drama. Well, tell yourself what to do and get the hell out of there so that you can have a better life that feels completely different, that is more fulfilling, more sustaining, and isn't on a roller coaster ride of craziness or keeping you from the one thing that you may be wanting to manifest into your world. So try to take off the control to other people and bring it on to self. This may, again, be a message for the person you're asking about. If you've been dealing in a toxic karmic situation, try to release any codependent behaviors that you've got there. Start making a plan for yourself about what you really do want, where you do want to go, and give yourself like a timeline for these things. If you're addicted to like drugs or alcohol or something like that, go get help. Take action, communicate clearly what you want for yourself, and be honest with yourself. Like, are you truly addicted to something, or are you just kind of using it as an excuse? Because sometimes addictions are more mental than they are physical. Not all of them are physical. A lot of them are, but you can still have the willpower when you decide to control yourself more so and disengage from whatever drama could be triggering you to engage in these addictions. Sometimes, people's behaviors when they don't do what we want them to do can make us upset, and then the drama ensues, and then you need to like take off with some alcohol or some whatever drug it is that doing, having sex with people, or just some sort of behavior that lets you get rid of all this shit. So it feels like for a lot of people in this pile, you're either dealing with somebody that's very much surrounded by something not so good, or you've been surrounded by some stuff that's not so good, and that's just needs to be acknowledged. And you need to be the one that makes the deciding factor in this, and then communicate it out to the universe that you're ready. Take the actions that are going to bring you to success. And a year from now, you're going to look back and be like, holy moly. And I think that for some of you, there may be a love situation where somebody does want a fresh start with you, or you want a fresh start with somebody that could be all caught up in this stuff, but it can't happen until this shit's cleared out. Okay. You could really like love somebody, but they're in the throes of addiction, or that they're just like in a dynamic that they're suppressing their truth. Maybe it comes down just to sexuality, or it comes down to just whatever. Once they clear and cleanse all of that, I think you guys will be good. So it could be a year from now, you guys are all good. Or it could be a year from now, they make the decision to get rid of all this. I'm not going to lie. For some of you, it's going to take this person a while to overcome that. And in those cases where it's the other person that is all up in this, communicate with them telepathically, give them some hints on what to do. Like, let them know that, because I feel like those of you who are in that dynamic where you have somebody you want a fresh start with that is stuck, surrounded by toxic karmic people, and it's on different levels. It doesn't have to be that they're like a bunch of addicts, like doing really, really horrible stuff. It could just be ego-fueled bullshit that doesn't really allow this person to express who they really are inside or what they really want. Be authentic, like in your communication. Show up as the best version of yourself. Don't suppress any parts of you, and make sure that you're like expressing to them like how they can get there without dominating. Okay, try not to like be a mirror of what they've already been in. Like if they're in a karmic relationship with somebody that's very controlling, or somebody that's very like domineering, make sure you're not showing up in that way and like trying to make them be conform to what you want. And with this, I feel like this person feels you inside of them. You probably feel them inside of you. And this, again, could bring out the worst of you. I feel like this person may have the ability to bring out the worst of you. You need to start making the decisions to have the fresh start in your life so this person can follow you. A lot of times they say in a twin flame dynamic, whatever you're doing, is mirroring. So make sure you check yourself that you aren't engaging in any of these things. Be the one that's going to help that fresh start, communicate out what it is that you know, are doing, and that you give them those, like, that forward motion, you know, let them know that you accept them fully and that it's safe for them to shift out of this type of stuff, and just show them what to do by doing what they should do. Okay, just be the embodiment of what this person should be doing. You know, I've noticed myself along my life, like, still hold back versions of myself, like parts of myself, because of vulnerability and all of that. I feel like the more you can truly be who you are, the more you're going to attract people who are going to mirror that to you. And then again, for a lot of you, this is where you're going to end up a year from now, with that happy family, with that person that you do have a very strong connection with, that's very like, meh. But yeah, part of the problem has been that it's been just driving you guys insane because of this stuff. There's been like blockages and things that have been missed and things that haven't been seen, but it needs to be overcome. And then with this stuff over here, I do feel like there's going to be traveling. So some of you, this could be somebody that's just really far away from you. And like, in order for you guys to be able to be brought together, they need to overcome this stuff wherever they're at. They could even just be addicted to like a belief system, like, oh, I'm not ever going to be good enough, or I'm never going to be able to get to you. Or you could be thinking those things like, we're never going to be able to be together because they live so far away, or boo-hoo. Just let that shit go. But for a lot of you, I feel like you do have like a role to travel with. You have an ability to speak. Okay, so it's interesting because it's like, I can hear you tell me what to do. I feel like whatever you've been through, whatever thing you overcome, will give you the right words to speak and empower other people. And you may start traveling and being a speaker. Like, you could do like the TED Talks, or do the motivational type of speaking to help people overcome these things. And it could be in regards to their sexuality. It could be in regards to addiction. It could be in regards to overcoming emotionally manipulative people, or overcoming ego, or overcoming fear, you know, realizing the things that are blocking us from this. Because when you get into that place of success, other people are going to want to know how you get there. So as long as you're communicating clearly, taking action, you may have a role to play in this world where you I feel like what your future will be about is music. Like, there's something that to do with music that you just keep practicing. Or this, you know what, I'm realizing too, people in the music industry sometimes get all stuck up in this stuff, like the addictions, because it just goes hand in hand. So you could be dealing with somebody that's famous, or somebody that, you know, wants to be, and like, this type of shit has been difficult because of all the people they're surrounding themselves with. But basically, I do feel like this will be something that's a part of the future for some of you. So if that part resonates for you guys, it may be that they are, you know, in that type of field. They can make the right decision to change themselves. You can be a successful musician and not, you know, get caught up in all of that stuff. It's just a matter of changing the people around, taking the right action, communicating clearly, like, all right, I don't want any people on my team that are like drinking every night or engaging in these behaviors that are shitty. You can be somebody that's in the music industry and very successful and gay. You can be somebody that's very successful and isn't all about the money. You know, they probably can have a lot of it, but they don't have to flaunt it and be like, yeah, I'm rolling with my bitches and my hoes and my money, and like, it doesn't have to be that way. And others of you, the music part, I feel like, is kind of what I was saying earlier, that you may just be able to shift yourself out of like feeling insane, or shift your energy. Like, music is very healing. So if you're the one that's having addictions, or feeling like ugh about stuff, feeling separate from things, try to use music to raise your vibration. You could be somebody that is going to be like a healer with sound. You know, all music has the vibrational frequency to heal us. So that could be something that you'll end up traveling the world with. Or for some of you, you may end up traveling the world with a musician that you end up with. You know, like a year from now, you could be finding yourself on traveling and on tour with somebody that, you know, you have this very strong connection with, and they're just finally able to break out of whatever it is that has been keeping them from truly being there with you. But I definitely feel like a lot of you have something to say. Okay, there's something that you need to say that's going to help you to transform your life. Like, there's something you need to communicate clearly, either to yourself or to someone else. It could be done telepathically or in the physical, but this is something important, and it could be said through music to the world, or it could be said, you know, through speaking to the world. And with the animals, I feel like a lot of you guys have a telepathic connection with animals. So you understand animals and communicate with them intuitively. Trust your inner guidance, as the animals are a part of your life's work. So this isn't for all of you. I feel like there's like a shift here. It's like, some of you, it's about music. Some of you, it's about traveling and like communicating. some of you, it's like you're going to be communicating with animals. Some of you may be an animal communicator, like a spiritual animal communicator, where you can receive messages from from animals for people. So that may be a part of your success. A year from now, it's like all of a sudden you take action on this gift and you release yourself from whatever's been blocking you from the truth of this. Because sometimes people will be like, "You're fucking crazy," but if you care about that and let that hold you back from expressing this, it's going to keep you from the success. You're going to like be, not doing what you really want to do, or letting other people's opinions keep you from seeing this gift that you have. So for some of you, that I don't know how many of you that's for, but that could be the part here where it's like you do have a role to help animals and communicate with them, and who gives a crap what other people think. And animals are very healing. So if you have been suffering with any type of addiction, or dealing with some type of drama, or controlling people, or trying to control people, working with animals, I feel, can help you open up into unconditional love and getting out of that place of like, and they are such a high vibrational thing that I think they would help you to overcome any type of addictions or drama, and just really get into this energy that feels good. But there are a few of you for sure that can communicate telepathically with the animal kingdom, and it's more intuitive. Like you'll just feel like I know about my animals, the ones that I have, so well that people are like, how do you know that that was the one that did that? I'm like, I just do. Like, I don't have to see them to know what they're doing. I feel like a lot of you have that type of connection. It could even be that the animals that you already have in your life are going to be very healing with you as you kind of go through this. I am picking up a lot of dolphin energy too. So there could be telepathic connections with the Syrian consciousness, or the Nomos consciousness, which is like star energy. So pay attention to that. If that resonates for you, they're the whales and the dolphins. There may be messages from them that you need to bring into the collective, or just to yourself, that are going to help overcome this type of stuff. And that could even put you into a place of speaking and traveling. And they are musical, like thinking the song of the whale, the song of the dolphins, that's like a musical vibration. So for some of you, there's definitely something like telepathic, sonar, vibrational that you need to do that's going to help you to overcome, and to detox your life, or possibly even help to detox who it is that you're dealing with, and to get them out of this stuff that's been nasty, and get you into the place that you're wanting to get into, so that your fresh start can start, and your new life can be manifested. And a year from now, things are going to look a lot different from what they are now for many of you. If they do not look any different, that's probably when this will all start. But I do feel for most of you, a year from now, things are going to be like, holy moly, because the shift that we're going through right now is big. Stuff can't be suppressed anymore. People are going to be getting pushed and pushed and pushed to make these changes for themselves, as we go into 2020. All right. Holy moly. 136. So last pile. And again, this is just a general what you need to know. There may be messages that you need to know about you, or that you need to know about who you're, a person in your life. There's could be love messages, general career messages, whatever needs to come through for you at this time is in here. If it does not resonate, maybe a different pile holds a message for you. I have been getting a lot of different messages, different ways that it can come through. So if you listen to the beginning of the pile and it doesn't make sense, there may be a message a little bit further in, or there could just be one small piece, or it may not be that that pile has the message for you. Again, there's only 4 piles here, so it's going to be hard for me to catch every single person, but you may want a different pile, or to just listen and see that maybe it resonates later. So we've got the Lovers, which is about choices and love. We've got the Chariot, which is about moving forward with commitment. The Magician, about collecting all those tools and really transforming things, being like the manifester. And then the Star, which is your, wishes coming true, coming into stardom. For some of you, you could be somebody that's going to be like famous, or dealing with somebody famous, or something like that. Surrender, frustration. So there could be a lot of frustration on yourself, or maybe somebody that you're dealing with has a lot of frustration. Surrender outdated beliefs about yourself. Surrender to the magic of who you are. I am really picking up with that. Like for some of you, you could be kind of like somebody that could be famous, or is gonna be famous or something. It's like you're very magical. Or it could be that you're a star seed. Whenever I see this energy, it's like either somebody that's like gonna be a star, or somebody that's a star seed. And with this is kind of like the same thing. It's like you may not, like you could be holding on to beliefs that make you not go like fully into this, or you could be dealing with somebody that way where it's like they could be a freaking star if they just allowed themselves to like commit to the moving forward of making the decision to change and embrace who they are and to let go of the frustrations and the things that have kept them from that point. Okay, so again, take it as it resonates, but there is something magical here, and like for some of you it's like you don't believe it about yourself. It's like maybe you deny the fact that you have a gift, or the fact that people really will gravitate towards you and like you. There is a solution for every problem. And then reveal your gifts. So again, this is like what I was just saying. For some of you, you have beautiful gifts that you're suppressing. So it could be spiritual gifts, it could be like musical gifts, it could be gifts with like whatever. There's tons of way gifts can come through, but I definitely feel either you or whoever you're asking about is definitely, suppressing these types of things. Then I have please forgive me, forgiveness. So there could be somebody that you're mad at, or there could be somebody that's mad at you. Especially with the duality, can we kiss and make up? So you definitely, there may be something to do with somebody. You could even be frustrated with yourself, and you need to forgive yourself for whatever's happened up to this point in your life. And that could be blocking you from really truly embracing, your gifts and coming into this time of like the light and the star energy. And realizing that there is a solution. No matter how bad things get, there's always a solution. It's just a matter of us deciding to take the solution. Like if you had a fight with somebody, you can always forgive them, and you can come to like a compromise. You may not want to go off and be with them again, but you don't have to let the frustration of that block you from your fulfillment in life. And then we have 11, the journey of love with union. So for some of you, you could be dealing with twin flame situations that you're trying to get into union with. For others, it's more so for me, this is like, again, representing like the journey of life, the journey of love is about like all these, things that happen, all these experiences. Sometimes the leaves fall off. Sometimes, there's tears along the way. Sometimes it just completely withers and dies. But then it comes back again, even more beautiful the next time. So that could be something that you need to deal with for yourself, or this could be something going on within your life, like as a whole, or your love situation. Desire, I can still taste you. Choose a new direction. Reconsider in the near future. Peaceful resolution. So again, I feel like wherever you're at right now, you could either be choosing a new direction about your future, or it's like Spirit's like trying to get you to do so. You could be like holding on to something that you just need to forgive and forget so that you can have what you ultimately want. Or you need to forgive somebody so that you can get here. Like you may really love somebody, really desire somebody, really want to be there with them, come into this place of union with them, but you may be frustrated and angry with them. And the more that you're holding on to that type of stuff, the more it's going to keep you from having that peaceful resolution with them. Okay. So it's like, instead of looking at everything that's happened up to this point, maybe choose a new direction. Or realize that like what you've been saying and doing up until this point is not bringing you to a place of resolution. It may be causing more frustration. Like maybe the two of you have different love languages or just different beliefs or whatever. And it's like, you gotta look at it in a new way. You gotta let go of this, because there is always a solution for whatever problem it is. And I feel like for a lot of you, it's something that you desire to have. It's for maybe a union with another person that you're wanting, but there's got to be forgiveness, and there has to be a new approach on it, because what's happening up until this point is not working. But with the magician, I feel like it also needed to happen the way that it's happened so far, because it was part of the story, and it will unfold, it will transform, and eventually you guys will figure out how to forgive. And I feel like because we have two of these here, it's like you guys will figure out how to forgive each other to come to this place of union, that you probably still both desire each other, and that there is a solution to whatever it is that you're dealing with. But it may need to be that you choose a new direction or a new approach, or they need a new direction, a new approach. There has to be some sort of new considerations that are happening here. And I feel like once you have those aha moments, or you make those difficult decisions, or leave behind whatever it's been, whatever decision that you may have been stalling on, or even just a like way of looking at yourself, the beliefs that you're holding on to, or not embracing the true power of your ultimate gift, could be sabotaging you from having what you truly want, either in your life or with another person, or manifesting in that type of person into your world. Okay, so it's going to be different for all of you, and it may be that this message is for whomever you're asking about, but I really feel like it's probably impacting you both. Something on your journey needs to change, And if you're not asking about a person, like maybe you're single, once you realize how powerful you are, how beautiful you are, and you start making those decisions to be committed to the transformation and the betterment of you, you're going to find solutions for all of the things that have happened in your world that haven't felt right up until this point. So it's really time to like work on the limiting beliefs that you're holding on to, letting go of any frustration about where you're at and what you've been through, and forgiving, even for some of you, it could be that you, like if you're a starseed, you could have frustration about this world. Like you could be like angry that you've had to be here because it's not always an easy place. You may be like, why do I have to be here? Like I don't want to do this. And sometimes there's resentment about having to come to this world. But once you embrace like and look at things in a new way, reconsider your stance on it, you'll have a better resolution to whatever's happening around you. And I feel like that's going to help you to reveal the gifts that you have. So you could even be suppressing these because you just have so much frustration and false, illusions about how magical you are and how beautiful you are as a person. Can you get down, please? No. Alcyon is trying to come up here, which tells me that this is most likely a lot of you are starseeds. So we have options. Consider the career possibilities that are open to you. Heart's desires. The angels are supporting, guiding, and protecting you as your dreams become a reality. Body work. Your life purpose involves body work such as massage therapy, energy healing, physical therapy, or exercise training. Then career change. You're embarking upon a career that brings you the joy and abundance you desire and deserve. And then again, support. Your life purpose fully supports you. So I'm definitely feeling like for many of you guys, it's like you haven't even like you may know that you have gifts, or you may know that there's something that you want to do, but I feel like a lot of you, it's been like there's been like a problem that you've created in yourself, or like you are thinking that there's some sort of problem when there really isn't, or you're blocking yourself from being able to see what the truth is. And that I feel is going to be shifting soon. And for everybody, it's going to be different. So it's hard for me to be like, this is exactly what the problem is that you need to see and reconsider. And then as soon as you do, here you go, boom, everything that you've ever wanted. For some of you, it's like you don't even know what you want. You don't know who you want. You don't know what you want to do with your future. But I do feel like pretty soon you're going to have that understanding, and you're going to realize what it is that's going to support you fully and give you the the peace that you're looking for in life. But for a majority of it, I am thinking that this is probably a lot to do with love, just because there's a lot of the like love energy coming through. But let's see what else comes here. I do think that a lot of you are going to be changing something about where you're going, or maybe you're still at a place where you're not like, you haven't made a decision yet. You could be like in school. You could be weighing out your options as to what you want to do as you go forward. And it doesn't matter. You can be at any age and still be like this. People are always like, I don't know what my purpose is. And sometimes we don't figure it out till we're 50 or 60. It doesn't matter. Your purpose is to come here and experience your life the way that you feel like you want to experience it, and to just continue to embrace yourself without, holding back your magic, or trying to appease everybody else around you, or being frustrated about where you're at compared to where other people are at. When we do the compare and contrast and we get frustrated with ourselves, we hold on to the beliefs that we're not good enough and we're never going to be enough. That's what keeps us away from the like ultimate options that are available to everybody. Stop. So what I always tell people when they ask that question is to follow your heart. Whatever it is that you're trying to figure out right now, whether it's in regards to love or your career, you got to trust what you feel. The angels are supporting, guiding, and protecting you as your dreams become a reality. But this is like, what do you feel good doing? Who makes you feel good? What makes you feel good? What is it that inspires you or makes you like a little interested in something? For some of you, it could be being a healer and doing hands-on healing. For some of you, it could be actually working with like weights and weightlifting. Others, it could be just like massage work or whatever. And I feel like it's like, you don't even have to necessarily be like under the field of body work, but it's like a lot of you, it's going to involve like your body like feeling good. You know what I mean? Like when you are aligned with what makes you feel good. Your body feels good and it reflects that out towards you. So you shine brighter, you feel better. People are more drawn to you because you are happy, you're good. You're like, yay, you're not frustrated, you're not, angry with other people around you. You're not frustrated with the situation that you're, I'm stuck here, or I did this, or they did that, or blah 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 blah. When you let go of all that stuff and you look at it as, okay, I had to go through it, that really aligns you with your heart's desire, and recognizing that you've been supported all this way and that you had to go through all these things in order to get here. And for some of you, you may have had to go through things that were really going to shake you up and make you look at the options that you have and change what you always thought maybe you wanted. Maybe you were like, oh, brainwashed as a kid, because with this beliefs, it's like some of you, your parents could have been like, oh, they're going to be a doctor, doctor. And like your whole life you were told you're going to be a doctor. So you went to school for that. And then when you got there, you may have been frustrated and, not feeling 100% fulfilled, because maybe you're not meant to be a doctor, but maybe you're meant to be a healer. And yeah, the pay there is a lot different, but when you're happy and fulfilled and you're, putting that out there into the world, you can be very abundant. You can make just as much as a doctor as a healer. It's just how you use your brain, how do you utilize the decisions as the magician to rise into that star energy. Like if you became a famous healer, you would make just as much as a doctor would, or probably even more than a doctor. But I feel like there's some sort of beliefs that have been instilled into you that are blocking you from the outcome that you've really wanted, but maybe haven't even known that you've wanted, because you've let other people kind of merge and mold you into a way of just going down this path. For some of you, it could be that you went through like an arranged marriage where it was like you never got to choose who you wanted, and now it's time for you to choose this new direction and to reconsider what it is that you've been told you have to do, and realize that there's tons of options available. Nobody can force you to do anything. If you really want to break away from something, you can break away from it, and the universe will always support you as long as you're going after what feels good to you and your heart's desire. You're going to be, taken care of and given that peaceful resolution that helps you to see the magic of who you really are, and helps you to embrace the type of union that's going to support you in this energy of light. And as long as you're committed to your growth and you're not, limiting yourself or making yourself like stay down under this thing, and you're not hanging on to anger and resentment from past relationships or from experiences with family members or whatever it's been, you will continue to rise into this place of having the solution for all of the things that you've been through up until this point, and revealing the true gifts that you've been sent here to give to this world. So it definitely feels like there's going to be epiphany moments for a lot of you guys. For some of you, it's like you don't even notice it yet. It's like you've been kind of like suppressed. I think a majority of you have, though, because if you're here, it's like you probably had some sort of spiritual awakening or some sort of inclination, or it may be that you just saw the title, What You Need to Know, and came, and now this is what you need to know, is that you've been living a little bit lower than what you should be. And it's time for you to realize how much light you have to give to the world, that you are somebody that's special. For some of you, this may be the awakening moment that you realize you are a starseed. So look into that and see if it resonates for you. If it doesn't, it may just be that it's time for you to rise into the stardom of who you are, to realize that you are a magical person. We all have magic in us, even the most mundane aspects of life. Remember that you are a magical being with a uniqueness and worth that come from just being you. Okay, so it's like it doesn't have to be anything big and huge. It's just by being you, you are magic. You deserve to have what you want in this world. And if you don't know what you want, it's time to reconsider and think about it. And I think within the next, probably within the near future, that can always be different depending on the person, because we're all on our different timelines and we all reconsider and do things differently. But within the near future, you will have that aha moment, and you will start to reveal these things about yourself, because you're no longer going to be limiting the ideas about yourself that originate from the past. Then you can own your power and soar in your life. So again, for life, this could just be that your parents set up a dynamic, or the teachers set up a dynamic, or something in your life that you've been through has set up a dynamic that has kept you from realizing the true potential of who you are. Like, anytime people say stuff, it's like, if somebody else can do it, so can you. Like, what makes anybody else more special than you? Like, I always get frustrated about that when people are like, "Oh, I can't do that." It's like, yes, you can. Anybody can. You just have to believe in it, and that's why I'm able to do a lot of the things that I do, is because I trust and believe that I can. That if somebody else can do it, so can you. It doesn't matter if you're a man or a woman, the age that you are, where you live, like. We're our worst enemies when it comes to our limitations, because we set them up for ourselves, but we also let other people set them up for ourselves by falling into those beliefs of like, oh, you're a girl, you can't do that. Oh, you're a boy, you can't do that. Oh, you live over there, you can't do that. Oh, you don't have that. Oh, you'll never have it. No, no, that's not true. It's only going to be true if you keep yourself in the place of thinking that. And with this, it says frustration doesn't open any doors. The key to resolving a dilemma or dissolving a block is to take a breath, center yourself, and regroup so you may approach a situation more calmly. So again, this could be just in connection to all of this stuff down here. You may be frustrated with the lack of like awareness of knowing what you really want. You could be frustrated with a relationship that's not going how you wanted it to. But it's the same thing as forgiveness. Like when we're frustrated, it's usually that we're holding on to resentment or anger in some way. When you forgive, that's when you're able to come together and make up with people. That's when you're able to be in the vibration that's going to help you to attract the more calm, beautiful situation that you're wanting, the peaceful resolution that you've been, needing or longing for, or it will become illuminated to you when you do this. And then that new direction is where you head into this place of union. All right. So I definitely feel like there's going to be some decisions made as you're going through the next few weeks. Now, this could be somebody that you're asking about again, that they're going to be making these decisions that help them to have the clarity to see what they deserve. And then the two of you can forgive each other and come together. I feel like for those of you that this is all about love, there is a deep desire for each other, but that could have also caused some stuff all up in here. Like you guys may have come from situations that you learned the false beliefs about love, or you just learned a false way of being within a relationship that wasn't allowing you both to like reconsider things. Okay, like you may have only wanted things to be your way or the highway, or that could be who you're asking about only wanted things to be their way or the highway. And so it's gotten you to that place where it's like, okay, well, obviously this isn't working. So I feel like what will be happening is those aha moments will be helping to make the decisions to be more committed to coming together in that way of like realizing, okay, like it can't be a one-way street. If you desire somebody, you want to be with somebody, there's duality within it. Not everybody's always going to agree. Sometimes you just have to agree to disagree, and that is the solution to the problem. And once that's done, these desires that people are having can be met, and the transformation can be had, and the wish can come true to be back together in this place of union and into this place of, fulfilling your desires with that peaceful resolution. So this basically feels like what's happening here, regardless of whatever, you're asking about or whatever's going on in your world. Things are going to get better. You probably had to go through what you went through just to get to the tools that you needed in order to transform it. But once you make your decision to be more committed to yourself and to your growth, and to like not allowing things to keep you frustrated or believing that you're not good enough or don't deserve, once you do that, you are going to get to this place. It's going to propel you very quickly into this energy of rising up. Some of you will definitely, resonate with the starseed energy. Some of you, it's like just like the wish that you've always wanted will come true. And some of you, it will be the aha, now I know what my wish is. And for others, it's like, aha, now I know what to do with this situation so that I can have my wish of union with this person. And for some of you, it could be a little bit of all of that coming together. You'll be figuring out what to do that's going to make you feel good within your body, within your heart. You're going to realize that you've always been supported and that you've always had these options, and then you're going to change. And I feel like there's going to be changes in multiple areas of your life. Like this feels big. It doesn't feel like it's just like on one level, but you're going to be bringing in all the abundance, all the love, all the things that you've wanted or didn't even know. For some of you, it's like you didn't even know that you wanted it. It's like you didn't even believe that you deserved it, but you're going to be bringing in a lot. You're going to be having fulfillment in, I feel, a lot of different areas. It's just time to recognize that you deserve it. And you may not even know what it is that you deserve yet, but I guarantee you, you will be getting something beautiful as soon as the frustrations and like the insecurities and the things that you've allowed other people to like push into your brain are eliminated, or as soon as you realize that you deserve to have love, you deserve to have light, you deserve to have what makes you feel good. So I would start there within this pile is what feels good to you. Start being committed to more of it, making the decision to follow that, making the decision to forgive what doesn't make you feel good, because sometimes it's just that you've had a fight with somebody and it doesn't feel good and you get angry and upset, but you may still desire the person, you may still love the person, but you're allowing your ego to be like, meh, and it doesn't feel good. So obviously it's not working out right. Like it's not gonna go anywhere better by holding on to that. I'm not saying you want to forgive everybody that's hurt you and go back towards them. That's not the case. It depends on what happened. But if you still have an overwhelming desire to be with somebody, sometimes you need to forgive them in order to get there. But if you were dealing with somebody that was very bad to you, if like they're the reason why you don't believe, that you deserve anything more, or have kept you in this place of, blech, still forgive them, but move that. What that will do is open up the energy and help you to go in a new direction that will find somebody else better that's going to change your life, and realize that you do have options. You know what? Even if you're married, you can have a divorce. If you thought it was your twin flame, sometimes we're wrong, whatever. It's like there is going to be a peaceful resolution for you guys. There is going to be an epiphany moment, and it's going to lead you to a place of union, either with somebody that you've been desiring all along, or just with the life that you do deserve to have, that I feel for some of you didn't even recognize that you deserved it up until this point. But I do think that something big will be happening for you guys. Just try to forgive. I feel like for some of you, you don't even know this yet. It's like you're going to have an epiphany moment, then you're going to get frustrated and angry because like you let other people hold you back from it or keep you in this like limited perspective. Don't do that to yourself either. Just know that everything that's happened up to this point has been for your highest and best. There's a reason we go through everything we go through. There's always like something that's going to like make sense later down the road that maybe not make sense now, and being angry or frustrated about anything doesn't serve. Okay, so try to just be in the place of forgiveness, no matter what type of aha moments you're having, no matter what somebody that you have loved does or doesn't do. And when you have the epiphany moments, just know that you're going towards your desires, you're going towards this place of feeling united, and you are going to be like bringing duality into oneness. So there's not going to be like the big highs and the big lows. It's just going to be feeling good. And the more that it feels good, the more it's going to let you know that it supports you, and the more your body's going to like want to go towards it. So just keep allowing yourself to go there, and don't limit yourself on what it is that you can do within this world. But it does feel like there's going to be big changes for the people in this pile pretty soon. And again, this could have all been vice versa for somebody you're asking about, but just trust your heart as you're making your decisions, and trust that you deserve more than whatever you have right now. And that it's always going to be that way. You're always going to deserve more and more and more and more. You're never going to be like, oh, that's all you get. Okay, that's not how the universe works. It's an unlimited, infinite, abundant universe that we live in. The only thing that blocks us from having that unlimited, infinite abundance is ourself and the beliefs that we hold about ourselves, because we've allowed other people to steal our magic or to make us feel a certain way. But do not get angry with them. Just, you know what, be grateful that they taught you that lesson, and then you can continue to go into your magic. You can continue to create new beliefs and release the old ones. You can continue to overcome frustration, and you can continue to decide the new path in every moment. You're never stuck on a path. There's always a decision in every moment that's going to lead you to where you want to go. And I feel like this will be happening very quickly for a lot of you. And he's going to be bringing you to that place that reveals all of this, all of the problems that you may not even recognize as problems. There's a solution for. So if you have the epiphany moment, and you're like, oh my God, that's been blocking me, or oh my God, that's not good for me. Don't worry about it in that way, because that's just going to keep you there. Just know that there's a solution, and it's a peaceful one. And then the new chapter is opening up for you, and that you probably had to go through some sort of problem or some time of not knowing in order for you to really truly reveal these things and have these epiphany moments. There's always a reason for everything. Okay, guys? So hopefully this assisted you all. Wow, 2 hours. If you would like to donate to the channel, there's a link down below. If you'd like any of the private services that I offer, I am booked up until, actually, I'm booked up until February 10th at this time. So there is a wait, but I can add you to my list. I am offering healing sessions right now, 20 to 30 minutes for for $55 instead of the 40 minute for 155. That's just until the 21st, I believe. I gotta double check what I wrote. But yeah, if you want my healing session, there is information about it on my website, but you can book with me, okay? Because I don't have a link on there yet for people to pay. And I think that's it. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe. I am going to be trying to do more things like this where we get like different stuff, not just the love stuff, you know, mix this other stuff in with love stuff as I go forward. And I will be going live tomorrow night on my Divine Essentials channel on at 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Tomorrow's the 15th of December, 2019. So if you listen to this at another point, I will not be going live tomorrow night, most likely. But if you are listening to it today, I will be, okay? So thank you guys very much. Inmune, namaste. Oh, I forgot how to, like, how do I get out of this? It's live.